Get closer, please. Please get closer, please.
Guys, and Mr. Satish Kumar. A truly huge round of applause for true testimonies of our center. The Center for Heart Failure Management and Heart Transplant at Fortis Hospital offers a range of options for the treatment and management of congestive heart failure.
Life to so many people with end-stage heart failure. Heart failure is a global concern. 2% of the people, adult population, suffer from heart failure. However, it's a myth to say only adults are affected by heart failure. Even the children can get affected. However, the incidence is higher in the adult population. Beyond 55 years of age, 1 in 3 develop heart failure. If you look at the United States, around 5.1 million patients suffer from heart failure, and 1 in 9 deaths are attributed to cardiac failure. And once the heart failure is diagnosed, 40 to 50% of the patients will die within 1 year. What about Indian scenario? Indians have heart failure developing at younger age group. There are rheumatic heart disease. So the impact of heart failure in Indians, each of the various reasons for the heart failure development, like valve replacement or valve repairs. Some patients will have abnormality in the conduction system, delayed conduction in the heart muscle, which can be treated by cardiac resynchronization therapy or pacemaker implantation. So when all these measures fail, basically supports both the heart and the lung for 2 to 3 weeks till you make a definitive treatment. This gentleman had a acute MI and came to our hospital at a cardiac arrest. So immediately we put him on ECMO. Then angiogram was done, which showed a blockade in the coronary artery. Our cardiologist, Dr. Madan Mohan, did a angioplasty. Transplantation has become a standard practice in Fortis Hospital with good outcomes. This is the success story of a young female, 32 years. Please. We have another gentleman. He came all the way from Pakistan. He got the heart transplantation done in our hospital. So today he is with us, Mr. Mohammed Zubair. He has done extremely well. He was very sick. When he came here, he was left ventricle. There is a rotor which pumps the blood into the aorta through a graft. The first HeartMate 2 implantation was done at Fortis Malar 2 years back. You can see the pump being implanted into the thoracic cavity. And it was a great moment. Mr. Rajshekhar walking his first step, and we are all very proud, and he has done extremely well. When he came here, the doctors in the previous hospital said he is implanted on the heart. we have with us Mr. Satish Kumar, who underwent the first and successful lateral implantation. He is doing the exercise testing. In fact, his exercise tolerance is better than most of us, and he is going back to his work and doing extremely well. So finally, we have a Center for Heart Failure and Transplantation.
To deliver excellence as the Director of Cardiac Sciences at Fortis Hospital. He has been championing this program and has taken it to great heights. I now request you, sir, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon. At the outset, we need to clarify one thing. All of you might be wondering, if all this work has already been done, what is it that you mean by launching a center? It's a question I ask myself. And then when we reflect and look back about the work that's being done and that is constantly increasing, a few things are striking, and immediately the need for a center comes to mind. The first thing is, as the number of patients with advanced heart failure start coming to the hospital, most of these patients actually, most doctors don't like to treat them because they are on the verge of death. They're very, very sick, and there's very little you can do. They're into multiple hospitals, they're inotropes, a lot of them have infections in place, they're depressed. So when you have a large number of such patients, from the point of view of trying to get them into shape for a transplantation or an artificial heart implant, it's not as though overnight they'll be in a condition to undergo any kind of surgery. So they require intense medical management. Several times they are not making urine, they're jaundiced, their lungs are not working. So attention to detail of every single subsystem and to get them into shape requires an enormous amount of intensive care work. So you need a team of dedicated intensivists round the clock who work on this. And even though technically they come to us with heart failure, it's like failing government, means every subsystem in the state is not working. There are no roads, there's no governance, there's no education, there's nothing. Similarly, in advanced heart failure, the kidney is not working, the liver is not working, the lungs are not working, and the brain is not working. So to get them all into shape, of some kind of shape before surgery can be accomplished, it's an enormous effort. And you need to have knowledge which transcends your typical short, narrow domain of heart itself. So you need to be a broad generalist to be able to treat it well. So that's coordination. Several times the recipients are very sick. You can't get them ready too soon while they are ready for donor organs. At the same time, you can't have them, the organ arrive in good shape, and the 80 to 85% of these patients are expected to survive 10 years. So the median survival, median is not average, the midpoint, is 12 years for a transplant now, especially for children. There are 1/3 of these patients survive up to 30 years. These kind of results are possible only if you have very close follow-up. So in our department, every single patient that we have transplanted is personally being followed up by us at least twice a week. I would call Zubair more often than I would call my brother. Twice a week, just to really keep in touch, find out what the creatinine level is, what the drug levels are. Otherwise, you cannot get long-term results. And as the number increases, this becomes formidable in terms of there's only so much you can do. And the even harder part is to manage patients with artificial heart pumps. Paradoxically, these patients come to us with low blood pressure, and at the end of 3 months, the commonest problem we have is high blood pressure. The long-term outcomes in artificial heart pumps requires the mean blood pressure to be 60 or 70, not more, otherwise they get strokes. And it's not easy to measure blood pressure in these pump patients because they don't have a pulsatile flow, they have a continuous flow. So
कमज़ोर थी क्योंकि पाकिस्तान के अंदर ट्रांसप्लांट का कोई इंतज़ाम नहीं है। जिस वजह से मुझे फिर यहाँ आना पड़ा।
يعني من قفة وجهي وقفة الشبل ثلاثة. العلاج الوحيد زراعة القلب قررت.
ஹலோ சொல்லுங்க ஜி நான் ஒரு நியூஸ் மினிஸ்டர் கூப்பிட்றேன்
Thank you, sir.
And be with us today, all the senior leadership of Fortis. And Assalamu alaikum, Zubair bhai. Namaste, Monica ji. Hello, Mr. Sadish. Each one of them are a story by itself, and the reason why we created this website was actually inspired by all of them. When I say that, it's because most of the people who have this end-stage disease or have cardiac problems related to heart failure, they usually don't know where to go and where to get the information. So this is actually transpired out of the needs and wants of the patients. So what we created is a comprehensive website, and when we did our background work, we found that there are some websites which are available from European Cardiac Society and American Heart Association, which are more scientific in nature. What we have created today is a website which is very, very comprehensive, very simple, has the information in a very plain text which is understandable, which is easy to go through, or to a layman like me. And
we're working day and night, and as Dr. Balakrishnan was explaining, these patients who come to us have many comorbidities and have to be very delicately managed to save their lives. When the country has a need for almost 5,000 treatments a year, and so far we are doing less than 100 as a country. And we're very pleased that within a short span of 18 months, we've become the largest center, and we'll continue to grow. And we will also continue to grow this specialty in some of our other larger institutions. Thank you very much for being with us and encouraging us to continue to provide this kind of support to our patients. Clearly there is a lot more work to be done within the private industry and the government, and at least our endeavor at Fortis will always be to bring the very best treatments for the benefit of our people. Thank you very much, and look forward to some Q&As later on.